Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I can't believe it's Monday. Hello, Robin. How are you?
I am great, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good. All right. Everyone knows me. I'm Nancy Gansico, for business coach and body language trainer to interior designers. And I am here today, my once a month, with our sponsor, RDW Design Studio for websites and SEO, Miss Robin White. Hello, Robin.
Hello. Happy Monday. Happy 4th of July.
Oh, my goodness. Happy 4th of July. Let me just refresh my business Facebook page so I can share into the group, the Interior Design Business Forum. And here we are. Give me 1 second to make sure I do this right. And then we're going to get right into what we're doing today. Why don't you start out while I look to share this? Tell everyone whose website we're auditing today and what page we're auditing.
Yeah, so today we are looking at Kristen Kramer, and she has requested that we do a mini audit of her about page. So we're super excited to dive into that. And I'll keep talking, Nancy, while you're checking all of that. The about page on your website is dedicated to sharing who you are with your audience. And it's really where it gives you an opportunity to connect with them and share your brand story. And it's a way to help build trust. We've all heard of the know, like, trust factor. Your about page is a page on your website that can actually take care of getting somebody to know you, like you, and trust you. So it's a really important page. And sometimes, we sort of just stick up a little bio of ourselves and bios of our team, and we leave it at that. And that's really not what it should be. It's really a place to share the value that you bring to the table for your clients. So we don't want to leave it as an afterthought. And I'm just going to share a statistic. Typically, the About page is one of your website's most frequently visited pages. And in a study by Co-Marketing, 52% of respondents said the first thing they want to see when they land on a site is the About page. 52%. That's a really high number.
Interesting.
So it's just something to keep in mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it makes sense though, Robin, because people want to know who they're working with.
They do. And people do business with people, right? So, and especially interior design, which is an in-person, unless you're doing e-design, it's generally an in-person service where they're actually trusting you with their home. Getting to know you is really an important factor in the decision-making process.
So I was working on something the other day. I won't reveal what it was, but the person, I was sort of analyzing websites for people. And there was one that I could not find who the person was. Even on the About page, I couldn't figure out who owned this interior design firm from the name, nor any picture that was specific to the owner of the company. I had to watch a video in order to get to know who owned the business. And right away, I thought, this is a problem.
Yes.
I love video, but I don't want to have to watch it and then a minute in finally figure out who the principal designer was.
Oh yeah, you should have a current photo of you smiling, looking out at the audience, and your name should be there. Especially if your business doesn't have your name in it. You don't want your About page to be called like the studio and just be talking about the business. It has to have information about you. Even if you're camera shy and you don't like the way you look, we still need a photo of you.
I know. I try to teach my Profit Insiders this all the time. On your social media, on your website, everywhere, just put a picture of you. It's the thing that people want to see the most before they hire you. Who am I hiring? Who's coming into my home? Who am I trusting? They want to analyze you and the look, unfortunately, but that is the world we live in.
Yeah. And I don't think it's so much that they're analyzing how you look, like nitpicking your makeup and your hair and clothes. They just want to see who you are, right? And when you think about it, like the posts that I do on social media that have a picture of me always have better engagement than anything else I do.
But it is interesting though, because again, I won't say exactly what I was doing, but I was with my sister at one point and I'm looking at different websites and I said, would you hire this person? And I handed her the website and she looked and she said, well, it's a lovely website. But the minute I saw her, and the way she was dressed, for my sister, that was a turnoff because that was too, let me say, like extravagant for her. But for me, I thought, oh, I would hire her in a half a second. So it proves that you are the first thing that is your brand, your person,
Yes.
how you
And you
look.
know what else it proves, Nancy? That's so interesting, is how important it is to know who your ideal client is so that your photos on your website are attracting them, right? So maybe you were this person's ideal client and your sister was not.
Correct. And then I always say, lead with who you are first. Don't try to be somebody else trying to attract this other clientele that you may not actually be comfortable with, and they may not be comfortable with you, right? So really, so anyway, there's a little extra stuff leading into the audit of the About page.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
All
So,
right. So do you want me to share and
yes,
tell everyone
please.
once again who we're auditing here?
So we are looking at Kristen Kramer's About page. And Kristen, thank you for volunteering your website for us to take a look at today. We
Yes.
appreciate it. And if anybody else would like a page of their website audited by Nancy and I, please reach out to us, drop something in the comments, let us know. We'd be happy to add you on. I think we are looking for volunteers for the fall.
Yes, it's really, you know what, I know it's hard for people to imagine having their website audited in the public eye, but they have to remember that their ideal client is not looking at my social media, which is where your social media, which is where this stuff is being broadcast. And it's free for them to get the help they need on some tips on their website. So to me, if you want one of your pages audited, please reach out and tag Robin or I, or send us a private message and we'll get you on the calendar. So, all right. So we're looking at Kristen Kramer Design. Kristen is the principal designer, I assume.
Yes, and let's just start with the top section, the header section, where we've got the logo and the menu, which I know is the same on every page, but I always do like to address this because it is an important part of every page. I love that her menu is nice and simple. If you look at it, she's got pretty much 1 or 2 words for each of the page titles. There's only 5 pages, so it's nice and simple. It's very clear. You know exactly what you're going to get when you click on each page. And Nancy, if you don't mind just hovering over a couple of them, I really like the hover effect that she's got, so you can see the double lines. So you actually are letting people know this is a clickable link, right? We have to understand that not everybody is, even in today's world, internet savvy. So the more obvious we can make it that it's a clickable link, the better it is. So that is really, really well done. And one thing that I would just mention to Kristen that she might want to think about, I love her logo, but it's very large here.
Yeah,
And
I
she
think it's
might
large too.
want, yeah, she might want to think about making it just a little bit smaller so that this whole menu and logo area takes up a little bit less space. What we'd like people to be able to see when they first land on the website is a bit more of the section below it. So that's just a little design tip, so we can get to the content just a little bit sooner. But otherwise, the menu, really well done.
Does she still need a home in this day and age?
So you don't, but since she only has 4 other pages, I think it's perfectly fine to have it there. When you start to get up to like 6 or 7 pages in your menu, then I often will recommend taking home out. But because, you know, it lays out very nicely with 5 like this, so I think she can keep it. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
And Nancy, do you want to click on About Us? Because I think we're on, there we go. So we have got a meet the team section to start out with. And I love that she has got photos of herself and her team, like we were just talking about.
Yes.
They're smiling, they're looking at the camera, like it's wonderful. So I just, so many times, like we were speaking about, you know, you land on a website and there's no photo of the principal designer, there's no name. So this is fantastic, really well done. And again, these photos help with the know, like, and trust factor. So I love that she's doing that. I'm also really happy to see everyone's name listed. everyone's title is listed so we know who's who. That's fantastic. And I would just like to say I love her use of font hierarchy. She's done a great job. If you look, the name of the person is in a different font from the title. It stands out a little bit more. And then the little bio of each person is smaller. So again, if someone's just skimming, they can see who the team members are. If they actually want to learn more about them, they can. But really great use of font hierarchy there. Couple of improvements that I might suggest for Kristen to think about are design-wise, because Kristen is the lead designer and the owner, I sometimes like to see that person separated out from the team and given a bit more prominence. So potentially a larger photo of her so she stands out more, possibly a longer bio of her, and maybe separating her out from the team. So she could be at the top where it's a 2-column setup with the photo on one side and the bio on the other. And then the other team members could be almost like a 3-column setup below, just showing the hierarchy, showing that she's the owner and the principal, I think can be a really nice thing. One other thing I might like to mention here is the body text font is a little difficult to read on the background. And I would almost suggest turning that maybe to a black or an almost black so that it's easier to read. And this is something we want to have enough contrast between background and text throughout an entire website, so that people can actually read the information that we have there.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that if you hadn't mentioned it, because besides this being very large, if you shrink that up, like you said, meet the team, have her be higher. As a body language expert, I would also like to see a fuller shot of her.
Yes.
Kristen, full body shot, hands showing, looking at the camera, smiling. That's important for people for the know, like, and trust factor, as like you said. So,
absolutely.
And definitely the font needs to be a little more prominent against that background for it to make it easy to read. I'm on a very big screen here, but it's still light.
Yes, very light. And this is something that we don't get into really in these audits, but something that's become increasingly big in websites and internet is something called accessibility, so that your website is accessible to everyone. So anybody who has any types of disabilities. So let's say they have a sight impairment. We want to make sure that they can see everything properly. Let's say they have epilepsy and are prone to seizures. We have to make sure there's not a lot of flash movements going on. So this is something that's becoming increased. The way privacy policies have become increasingly important, accessibility has become increasingly important as well. So this contrast between the font and the background it's on is very important when you're looking at accessibility.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So, and then I think we've got the footer section after this. So she's got links to social media and email and telephone, which is fabulous. I love seeing all of that in a footer area. A couple of things I would suggest adding here, if Kristen's open to it, are the legal policies that her website needs. She does have a contact form, so she definitely needs a privacy policy. The other ones are going to be dependent on how she answers certain questions, but definitely she wants to have a privacy policy. I would say I'd like to see either a secondary menu or a to the top button, so that people can either get back to the main menu or click to other pages from the bottom of the page once they're there. And I'd love to see some information on her location and her service area. I don't really think that is anywhere prominently on her website, and that's super important for both user experience and people who might want to hire her, and also for search engine optimization, SEO. And she might want to think about putting contact information there. So I know she's got email and phone. If she has an actual location or a studio with an address, she might want to put that there. She might want to actually write out the phone or the email. So just a couple of ideas for things that can go there. And then Nancy, I'd love to chat a little bit about some other items that Kristen could incorporate onto her about page so that it's not just bios of her and her staff.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little light. I also noticed that, which one was it? Behind one of the images, it said, JPEG or something. The images don't seem to have a description behind them. Alt text. I can't seem to reproduce it now, but it happened before. So yeah, I don't really know a lot about Kristen by reading this, and I don't know what Kristen's point of view is with her clients, what kind of clients she's looking to attract. Like, even though it's the about her page for her firm, it still should be about the client and what they can expect from working with you and your team, right?
It's really all about the client and how you and your unique background and unique experiences and unique approach and unique process and unique style help them, right?
Yeah, and there's nothing here that says that.
Yes, exactly.
I want more personality. Put it that way. And Kristen's full of personality, by the way, so I know she can put personality into this.
Yeah. So you want to share how your designs help your ideal client, right? What solutions are you providing them with your creativity? You want to keep everything client focused. So sometimes, especially on the entire website, but especially on the about page, we have a lot of I or we sentences. And sometimes if you can flip that around and make it a you, right? So it's about the client, even though it's about you. So you might, I'm going to be really bad with an example, but I blah, 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 which saves you time, right? You could say, you'll save time because I blah, blah, blah.
Right. You'll save time and money because I share freely of my interior design ideas or something like that.
Yes, but just starting that sentence with a you instead of an I makes it all about your ideal client in their mind rather than all about you, even though it is still about you. So we want to think about that and, rewriting that a little bit so it is more client centric, right? Instead of Kristen and her team centric. You want to share your company story, share your why. That's a really good thing. If you have a unique business name, why? Share the story behind the name. Anything that gives people a glimpse into things. Like, why does your business exist, right? And then you can share about you and about your team. Share your values, your guiding principles, things like that can be your brand values. This is a great place to share those. She's got the meet the team, which is fantastic. I'd love to see some social proof here, a testimonial or two that speaks to what it was actually like to work with Kristen and her team. That social proof is really important for the trust part of the know, like, and trust factor. I would love to see a call to action. What is the number one goal of your website? What is the primary action that you want a visitor to take? It's probably going to be to contact you. So having
to click here to make an appointment or click here to contact us about your.
Exactly. So have something at the bottom of the page, something that's compelling with a button that clicks over to the contact page so that visitors know what it is you want them to do. They don't know what it is you want them to do.
Yeah, at the end of this page, it's like, okay, now where should I go, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I'd love to see that on there as well.
Click here, tell us about your project, like something like that.
Yeah. Exactly. And, introducing those extra sections and extra text gives you an opportunity to then also introduce some images of your work on this page as well.
Yes.
Right. Because we don't just want it to be text. We want it to be text and images and white space and headings and subheadings and paragraphs and bullet points, right? So that everything is easily digestible So having having photos of your work on here too, that's what people want to see as well. And then lastly, because you mentioned that Kristen has a really great engaging personality, another section she could consider is fun facts.
Oh, I like that.
Right? And she's got a team. So when you're not a solopreneur, something that you can think about is maybe Kristen and each of her team answer the same 3 questions somehow. And it goes at the bottom of their bio. So, and it can be whatever they want to share or imagine. Or it could just be that maybe Kristen has a fun fact section, but the last sentence or 2 of each of her team members' bio says something personal about them. Christina, you can find Christina on the weekends paddleboarding on the lake, something so that they know a little bit something personal about her that's not too personal, obviously. But there's lots of really creative ways to lay out and set up a fun fact section. So I think that can be a really nice way to get to know somebody on a more personal level.
I love that idea. I mean, even fun fact, are you a dog or a cat person? What's your favorite, right? What's your favorite hobby? What's your favorite movie or book of all time?
Yeah,
like
I mean, it can be dog or cat, coffee or tea, ocean or mountains. I mean, there's so many cute ways to do it. And something that I have wanted to see, so I'm going to share it, and none of my clients have done it yet. Because you guys do mood boards, do a mood board of yourself. Put
Ooh,
up
like
photos of you, things that you love, and you could maybe put a couple of words, going up and down by it. But you can make it in Canva and just upload it as one image to your website, and it's a mood board of you.
I love that idea. And at the beginning of every year, right, we try to do a mood board of what we want to see in our lives, to manifest some things in your life. That would be a great thing to share if you do that.
Oh, yeah. Put up a picture of your dog, a picture of the beach or the mountains, a picture of your favorite city so that people get to know you through images,
Yes.
But I think that could be a really cool thing for an interior designer to put on their about page.
I think it would be cool too. So, all right. Hopefully Kristen listens and, does some of the things, if not all of the things that you have recommended, because they're all so amazing.
Start. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's got a lot of potential there, though, Robin. Like, she has potential. Like, I love the first change of a website when it goes from the very first one you created, like yourself, and you didn't quite know everything you should put there, but you did your best and it looks amazing, but it could get even better. That first new website always is such a thrill to be branded properly, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'll say, as a professional website designer, I put up my website and then I'm constantly looking at it and tweaking it and making it better as I learn more and, figure out better ways to do things. Or, especially for me with my messaging, I'm constantly tweaking the words because, you might put a post up on social media and write a fantastic caption and you're like, oh my God, part of that needs to go on my homepage. It's better than what's on my homepage, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Your website is a living, breathing creature that needs to be tended to and updated. Yeah.
Just like your business, it is a part of your business, right? I always say, everyone, there's no destination. It is constantly ebbing and flowing and growing and learning and morphing. Your business, your website, your systems, your processes, your ideal client. It's always changing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've got to kind of keep up with it all the time. So tell everyone how to find you and what you can do for them.
Sure. So you can find me on my website, which is rdwdesignstudio.com. Up there. And I'm also very active on Instagram, and that is RDW Design Studio. I post lots of tips and things like that. So you can follow me there, and I can help you with custom website design. I have website templates specifically for interior designers, and I also do SEO, search engine optimization.
All right. So if any of you want one page of your website audited for no charge, live, like we just did with Kristen's, please put your name, your website, tag Robin or I, and we will get you on the schedule. And if you need a website redesigned, custom or templated, Robin, or SEO, really, SEO is more and more important every day, search engine optimization. If you need help with that, reach out to Robin. She can help you with all of that. Thank you so much, Robin.
Thanks, Nancy. See you next time.
And we have someone for next month, correct?
We sure do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We will see you guys next month for our next website wisdom audit from Robin. And again, if you need your website or want your website audited, one page of it, put it down below one of the platforms that you're watching, tag Robin or I, and we will get you on the calendar. Thanks so much, Robin. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.